Good morning, y'all. Welcome to the first day of the quarantine edition of Reading Rush. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm awake. Congratulations to me. I'm in my office, just basically my bedroom with a desk. I'm going to start working for today. So my first book that I'm going to read for Reading Rush is the one where you stay in one place the whole time, or like in a room the whole time. Because I'm going to be locked in this bitch for a good next 5 hours roughly doing some stuff on the computer. So I'm gonna audiobook, what is it? This Is How You Lose the Time War by el-mohter and something
Max Gladstone.
But I'm pretty excited about it. Loads of people have said it's super good. Also, some people said it's really crap, like they DNF'd it because they were confused. But I think the people that are saying they liked it, you know, they're my people. So they were like, they're gonna be confused, but just power through. It'll all be explained at the end. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm gonna get started on that now. What up, Baba? Your cereal's getting soggy, yo.
It's getting soggy.
Yeah, it's going all soggy and mushed.
How?
I don't know, you're like a cereal amateur, yeah?
Can I eat it quick?
Yeah. Just get it going, Baba. Also, my plans for today involve the fact that I just got a brand new bullet journal. Like, I haven't done bullet journaling in ages. I did one a couple years ago. Ew, don't show them your face on. But I had a bullet journal years ago, back when I had a really boring job and I used to sort of do stuff in work. But I got loads of ideas for this one. You know, I'm gonna have like a lockdown countdown spreads. I'm gonna have like loads of readathon spreads. I'm gonna do my owls slash Reading Rush spread today. I'm gonna have like, you know, the contents of my doomsday cupboard list, you know, just to stay up to date. Maybe put the expiration dates on it. Ugh, guys, I'm so powered up. I have a meeting in 3 minutes with my boss on the computer. Do you think it's gonna be weird that my kid's just sat here watching cartoons, eating cereal next to me?
For prey. She hears infrasonic ultrasound. She thirsts for contact, for a new, more worthy battle. But she is alone with the corpses and the splinters and the letter her enemy left. Climbs down thread toward home, to the braided future her agency shapes and guards. No trace of her remains save cinders, ruins, and millions dead.
Y'all, this book is reminding me of The Terminator, right? So, like, I've only seen it once and I was really drunk, but basically I think the idea is similar in that, so they wanted, in like this war, this big battle in the future or whatever, and they wanted to stop one of the fighters or whatever, so they had to go back in time to like kill the mother of the fighter or whatever. Isn't that it in The Terminator? This is very sort of like that, like, yeah, the battle in the future and like going back in time to like, yeah, affect future events and future players in the war that they're in, you know? I'm into it. It is very confusing though, and I'm very confused, but I'm liking it. I think it's good.
She drops into a crouch beside it to inspect the pelt. The sight hits her like a hucklepick. There, in the ice-rimed fur alternative, which does.
I forgot.
When the key and letter are finished, clumps
I
remain.
forgot how long
She
and
reads the
exhausting
direct
bullet journal thingies are.
Easy enough.
Okay, yeah, I'm super confused. Yeah, so, okay. In the book, you've got red and blue, okay? So they are super intelligent, like super tuned in agents of war for each of their sides. They're like not just commanders, you know, but like they've like got special skills like to do with like sensing out time strands and stuff. You know, like different strands of time that weave together and create like butterfly effects, you know. So like currently this guy's here and he's winning, so I need to get rid of this guy, so I need to go back to this time, which will cause this strand to do such and such, which will cause this butterfly effect, which will cause that guy to not be there or something, like. And then they know about like braiding of time strands, like when they meld together, whatever. Anyway, they're like really in tune, they're really intelligent, so they're like getting on really well in these like correspondence things that they're leaving, so they have more in common with each other than like the vast majority of the people on their sides, you know? So one side, the blue side, or just Blue is the nickname of the person, she's like in like a garden society. It's like two like futurist societies, and they're like battling for like, you know, takeover of the planet. Like they want the whole planet to be as their society is, which just sounds like America in the Cold War. Anyway, okay, but basically the blue side is the garden society, where it's quite individualist and like in tune with nature and like biology and stuff. And yeah, okay, like slower and simpler, I think. Okay. And then red is from a society that's like ultra technological and like is to do with like a sort of like a hive mind, I guess, like where everyone is really tuned into each other and they don't really have individual sort of thoughts and stuff like that. But I don't really understand quite a lot of it. Like there was some talk about tunnels under the ground, which sounded like snakes or worms or something, which I was like, is this like an alien thing? But no, I just think it's people, you know. And then there was talk about like not having hunger and not eating and not needing to eat and just like getting food or like nourishment through like other ways or something that bypasses eating. And I don't really understand that either. But I think that's like what's supposed to be happening, you know? You're supposed to have dropped into these like advanced societies in these like future war or whatever without knowing what's going on. Like nobody's explaining it to you. You just have to sort of like hit the ground running and sort of take in the information that's available to you and sort of make, you know, make your own inferences, which is cool. Like, you know, I feel like that's how I thrive best, to be honest. But yeah, loads of it is not going in. Also, I feel like there might be an element of you're not supposed to understand, you know, like certain things. You're supposed to understand that they are complex. You know, you're supposed to understand the like intensity of their like, you know, complexity. That was a bad phrase. But you don't actually need to understand exactly how it works. You know, you're supposed to just be a little bit confused all the time and like only sort of fully take in the bits that are most important, you know, like the differences between the two societies and like the sort of slow like bonding and sort of love that's happening between the two commanders because they have so much in common with each other and not so much with their sort of other people. And you're supposed to understand, I guess, like how clever and intricate everything they do is. Like all of their thoughts and all of their actions and everything play into like something like a deeper understanding of how the world works and everything than anyone else could possibly have, you know. And they keep sort of leaving notes for each other in like the most intricate and weird places. Like one note was left inside a tree. So like each ring of the tree had like another sentence, you know, and so they keep going back in time, or like the person who's writing keeps going back in time, writing a sentence, and then 10 years later writing a sentence, 10 years later writing a sentence, so that when the commander sort of sends her people through to chop down the tree to make like this war weapon, only she's able to sort of read the rings of the tree, which is nuts. Anyway, I think I'm really liking it, but I'm also super confused. I'm hoping I'll understand more. Like those people, you know, were like, stick with it, all will be revealed. But I sort of feel like I'm never going to be fully understanding of what's going on here, and that's the point. Okay, boom! Our new bad guys books came! Okay, which ones are they? So this one is this the 9th one?
Oh,
Or the 10th one?
That has yellow hair, so why?
Well, I don't know what happened. So the big bad wolf one is next, isn't it? In the last one, Mr. Wolf became bad, isn't it? So big bad wolf one is next. Oh, we can read that tonight if you want. Okay, and then after that one is this one. So we don't know why it's the baddest day ever, or why they have like weird stuff on.
How does he has to be big and nice, but why is he big and naughty?
Well, remember in the last one, he got all big and naughty because the bad guy made him like that. Do you remember? Okay, we'll have to do a recap. Also, what? I got a post-crossing-esque postcard from Tina. I'm pretty excited about that because the post-crossing postcards have sort of dried up. Like, everyone's in like a flux in the world and their postal systems aren't working properly and all of the post-crossing postcards are just stuck. It makes me very sad. But this one, I think when I did that video, I should link it below, but I will probably forget. I did the video about post-crossing, you know, anyone does post-crossing. And I think Tina really liked it, and then she started doing post-crossing, and now it's super fun.
It's nice here. Mom, why is it not so deep?
Oh, because it's just a really shallow creek.
So I mean my feet so.
Strong in Strand 3329, red, in shadows, stabs a man who's about to stab another man who's wandering home buzzed on espresso, sugar, and math. The man red.
So I think that Blue, the garden commander, has saved the life of Red, the like ultra tech like agency commander. I don't really understand how it happened, but they sort of came actual face to face, I think, or like we're in the same area, and one of them definitely saved the other one. I don't understand fully the mechanics of this. I think I just understand that it happened. And I think it's quite like watching a telenovela, you know? Like, say, you're over at your friend's house and her family is like sort of a native Spanish speaking family, and her mother and her grandmother in the living room watching telenovelas, you know, and you're just doing your best. You're like, okay, that guy slept with someone he wasn't supposed to sleep with, obviously, but that girl, I don't understand why she comes into it. I don't know why she's there. I think probably she's related to so-and-so person that was just here, but I'm not sure. Like, you just sort of piece it together, don't you? And you get the idea, but you don't know the details. So I reckon I'm not hating it, despite the fact that it is a bit like watching a telenovela. It's like, you know, outrageous and crazy and just a bit confusing, but like quite clever, I think. It's hard to say though because I don't get it. I think I'm liking it.
As each letter unfolds inside her mind, she frames it in the palace of her memory. She webs words to cobalt and lapis. She weds them to the robes of Mary in San Marco frescoes.
But this was different. This wasn't guarding infecting me to strengthen me. This was something infecting me to get at Garden.
What did he say? I do have school friends. It's Etta. Yeah.
The baby has finally made contact with the neighbor kids. She's been stalking them for days.
I'm gonna put this back on the table.
I've thought about your proposal, but need a demonstration of trust. It's risky for me to communicate with you. So
Okay, the book's getting like weirdly Romeo and Juliet now. It's like super intense. So they've fallen in love. Like, that's not a spoiler, you knew that was gonna happen. It's like a romance. But I'm sort of torn between, like, you know, the intensity of it being like really good and like fired up, and the intensity of it being like over intense and cheesy. Like in my bullet journal, I've written down a quote that I like, which is, at the end is at the start and through all the in-betweens, I love you. You know, like solid gold stuff like that, you know, like really good professions of love, because it's in like letters and stuff as well. I love reading like books that are compilations of love letters that are real, that people actually send to each other, because they sort of like put the best of you in them, don't you, and you sort of profess things that you wouldn't normally profess, but at some points it has just gotten a bit over the top and cheesy, and like, oh, we're talking about poisons and stuff now. Like, I'm not sure if maybe it's a bit too much. I don't know. Ah, I did it. I finished it and it was really good. I did really like it. Like, I think I'm gonna knock it down a star. Because, yeah, it was super confusing and, like, a bit over the top in places, do you know what I mean? But, I think overall, it was good. It's a good 4 stars. Like, the ending was really good. Like, I won't, like, ruin it for you, but it was, like, a twisty ending. It was ace. That was really good. Anyway, that's the end of day 1 for the reading rush. So I've nailed my, read a book in the same room the whole time. I think for tomorrow, I'm gonna also have an audiobook situation that is sort of doubles as an audiobook / physical book situation, because hopefully I can sort all my work out quite soon tomorrow, it being Friday, and then I can sort of cut out a bit early, and then I can sort of spend the rest of the time like starting the weekend and reading physical book. So I'm gonna do one that I have both for, both the audiobook and the book, and it's a short one, and it's the one to do with a place that you want to travel to. And so I'm going to read Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And the place that I want to travel to is Tokyo. It takes place in Tokyo. So I'm pretty excited. I'm now gonna be super excited about seeing everyone's reading rush like info, like vlogs and stuff. Instagram has been a treat with the challenge for everyone's favorite place. Oh god, reading rush is just the best. Anyway, if you have anything to say about any of the stuff, like comments of any kind, questions and such, please leave them down the bottom. I'm 100% open to that. Alright, thank you for watching. Goodbye.